Most women want to lose some of this stuff, right, Robyn?
Oh yeah.
This is 5 pounds of simulated adipose tissue, also known as fat. And yeah, good news, we don't put it on in clumps
all
like
in
this.
one place. Oh my gosh. Robyn and Danna here with Lean Healthy Ageless and the authors of the Eat, Live, Thrive diet. If you're a woman 45 plus looking to experience your best health, your best vitality, and your best body, you have come to the right place. This video is sponsored by Bellway Fiber, our favorite fiber, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about it and why we love it so much at the end of this video.
So today we're going to answer some of the most commonly asked questions of our coaching clients about getting this stuff off. All right, Robyn, we have about 4 questions that we want to address today about losing weight effectively, because so often women don't know how much to eat, what balance of nutrients. And so the first question is?
Well, the first question that is really common is how many calories per day does the average woman burn?
Obviously, average is a conglomeration of short and tall and large and small, but really the average woman burns 16 to 1700 calories a day. And that may sound like a lot to you. I have questioned thousands of women over the last 20 years teaching on health and wellness, and most of them think it's much less, like 1,000 or 1,200 calories. That's not true. And actually 1,700 calories a day is a small amount of calories. If you would look back to much earlier days, 100 years ago, the average woman probably burned a minimum of 2,000 calories a day, if not 2,500 calories or more, because she was far more active. Because the second question that comes along with this, okay, so gosh, we burned 16 to 1,700. That's a great amount of calories, and really not so much. How many of those calories are from activity or exercise? The average woman's basal metabolic rate, that's how many calories she burns for 24 hours doing nothing. Can you imagine having a whole day of doing nothing? But if you were to lay flat for 24 hours, your BMR would probably average, if we again combined all women, about 1,300 calories a day. Now, it can be as low as 1,100 or 1,200 if you're really small, if you're older, and it can be as high as 1,500, 1,600. But again, let's just go with averages. So in this example of 1,700 calories a day as an average burn, minus the 1,300, how much is activity? About 400. That's not very much. And really, we get that 300 or 400 just doing regular activities of daily living.
So just to clarify, your BMR, basal metabolic rate, plus your movement, your activity for the day equals your total calorie burn.
So obviously, one easy way to increase your burn is just to move more. If you theoretically added 300 calories a day of movement to your life, you'd now be burning 2,000 calories a day. And if you didn't eat more, you'd be able to lose weight a little more readily. Now, there's a lot more to it than that.
Well, I was going to say, theoretically, calories in versus calories out works. But we know in reality that it isn't always about just your calories in, calories out. There's a lot of other things to look at, which we'll talk about macronutrients, but also food sensitivities, because there are certain foods that you could be eating, no matter what the caloric burn is and intake is, that might be holding you back and preventing you from weight loss in general.
So just to expand on this topic, question number 3 is always very specific. Should I count calories and carbs? Well, we don't like to should on anybody.
No.
So we like to give you options, but sometimes it makes sense to have a short-term reality check if you're not that kind of a numbers kind of gal. So we actually take a couple approaches to this in the lifestyle phase of our diet.
We take 2 approaches to this. One is by the numbers. If you're like Danna, she likes to calculate and count all the numbers. Or the keep it simple approach, which is my approach, is more about portions and servings, because I don't like tracking the numbers. However, I will say, periodically, I will track those numbers for a few days at a time, maybe once a quarter or once every 6 months, because I need a more clear reality check.
Now, when we talk about counting calories or counting carbohydrates, really we want to clarify something we call PMR, your personal macronutrient ratio. And what are macronutrients? They're basically those basic elements of your diet: protein, carbohydrate, and fat. Of course, there's quality and junk in all 3 categories, and so we want to look at the highest quality possible. But your macronutrient ratio is very likely different than your sisters or your mothers, and certainly much different than your husband. And one of the things that is essential to long-term weight loss success and maintenance is knowing what that is.
This is a question that comes up quite often on our Eat, Live, Thrive Academy coaching sessions. And basically, we help our clients by telling them to track what they're eating for at least 3 days. Now, they can do it by the numbers, by simply calculating every carbohydrate, every calorie that they're taking in, or they can literally just write out the foods they're eating and the portions, and we help them figure out what that ratio is, what they're currently eating, and how to tweak that. And it gives them a true reality check in that moment, because unless you know what you're doing, how do you know to move forward? And I will put this in, many women are eating much lower than what they should be, and it's stalling their weight loss.
Which leads us to question number 4, how many calories and carbs should you eat? And it is very individual. Well, one of the things that we know for everyone that we can say is you should not eat less than your BMR. Remember, that's your basal metabolic rate, how many calories you burn doing nothing. You can easily find out your BMR. If you just go and do a Google search, there's many calculators. You'll put in your age, weight, your height, and your sex, and it will give you an average BMR for those particular stats related to you. Let's just say, as with the first example, your BMR is 1300. Then most days you should never eat less than that. That's your bare minimum. Now, maybe you're fasting for 24 hours or you're sick. It's going to happen on occasion. But day in and day out, you never want to fall below that. And in fact, you probably want to eat a little bit more than that.
Also, remember we were talking about that total calorie burn? That's your BMR plus your activity calories added together. We recommend that you never have a deficit from that of more than 500 calories. A lot of times your deficit might be, say, 250. And again, this is in that theoretical calories in versus calories out theory, which is important, but it's not everything. Again, there's food sensitivities, and then there's your personal macronutrient ratio.
So in the macronutrient ratio, one of the key things, especially for mature women, is your personal carbohydrate threshold. Most women are eating way more total carbohydrates than they need, and many of those carbohydrates are very starchy and processed food. As an example, our research has shown that the average American woman eats 300 to 400 grams of carbohydrate a day. That's 1,200 to 1,600 calories in carbohydrate only. That's simply too much. And as we age, our carbohydrate threshold, our ability to use carbohydrate as energy rather than store it as fat, goes down. So one of our missions as health coaches with our Eat, Live, Thrive Academy clients is to help them discover their personal ratio. And we do that by initially having you eliminate all grains and added sugar to your diet for about 14 days. That helps you kind of get a baseline and watch the pounds shed off and some changes in your body occur. And then as we start to add some of those foods in and test those foods for, as Robyn said, sensitivity as well as carbohydrate threshold, we start to be able to figure out by this little experiment with your body what your carbohydrate and your PMR, your personal macronutrient ratio, is, and it opens the door for so much more effective weight loss.
I just want to share a couple stories. We have a few clients that have been with us, have had great results on the Eat, Live, Thrive diet, removing grains and sugar and increasing their activity level, then testing for food sensitivities, and then they hit this plateau, and by tracking the calories or tracking their servings, they can do that for a few days, show us what they're eating, and we've been able to tweak, like I think of Ginger and just saying, you need to eat a little bit more carbohydrate because you're eating too little right now, and bam, the weight loss starts again. So it's really exciting to see that, but very, very individual and very unique. So that reality check for yourself to know where you're at is very important for moving forward.
If you'd like to know more about our Eat, Live, Thrive Academy coaching and how we can help you determine your PMR and answer all your other questions about how to lose weight no matter what your age, please click the links provided. As we mentioned at the beginning, this video is sponsored by our favorite fiber product, Bellway Fiber. And Robyn, I'm especially loving their new Super Fiber Plus Collagen product. This is Matcha Lemon. And we absolutely love how well this mixes in water. Let me just demonstrate really quick. So I put 1 scoop of the Matcha Lemon collagen and fiber, And we're just going to put a couple ounces of water to start, even though I'm going to need to drink about 8 ounces. But you know how fiber can be so thick and hard to get down. It just thickens so fast. This one does not. It just goes down so fast, and it actually tastes great.
Well, Danna is always careful to make sure she's drinking at least 8 to 12 ounces with that fiber. You know, the fiber is very absorbent. It starts to bulk up in your digestive tract, and that's one of the beauties of it. Not only is it creating bulk for that nice bowel movement the next day, but it's scrubbing the insides of your intestines and pulling out toxins with it. It actually helps you feel full, so it's great for appetite control. And then she's just drinking the collagen fiber combo. They have just the fiber, and this is the collagen fiber combo. So she's not only getting those fiber benefits,
Getting good skin benefits.
she's getting benefits for her hair, skin, her nails, all of that, the building blocks for beauty.
Well, we want to encourage you, if you'd like to give Bellway Fiber a try, to click the link provided. If you're a first-time customer, there's a special bonus discount code you can use as well. So just check out the links and check out Bellway Fiber. We love it.